This is Eric Muathe with Muathe.com. After the close, November 6th, 2008, the S&P 500 is now down 10% in 2 days. Okay, so it's not looking, at least it hasn't been that great if you've been on the opposite or on the wrong side of this trade. Before I go any further, let me set the stage for this video, and I'll explain why. On September 25th, you can go search for that video on YouTube or on my site. On September 25th, 2008, I made a video and I essentially talked about the impending crash. Now, even though the charts looked bad, I have to remind you, the way the market fell in October was a complete shock. And so a week before the market crashed in October, there was a video that I had made that just in plain English said, be careful on the long side, something you've never seen is about to happen. We've had the worst two consecutive down days since the 1987 crash, and luckily for those who who follow my work, we were coming into yesterday's trade. This market, we were short the market. We had been a little bit taking some losses coming into the last 2 days, but after the last 2 days of paid dividends, and we were making a decent amount of money, and we were not caught by these last 2 days of selling, and we were not caught by the market crash of 2008. Now, the reason why I talk about that, and it's not really an ego trip, is really honestly is because I want to set the stage for this video. I think it makes you probably open your ears a little bit more, and in a humble way consider what I want to show you. Now, this is a monthly chart for the transport, Dow transport. Now, when this index broke below this beginning of, I guess, the end of September, when it started breaking this support that has held since 2003, I said be careful. And one of the reasons why I said this was not looking good was because we were breaking this, the line here, we were breaking this trend, and that to me was a very bearish sign, because that support has held for 5 years, and we broke that, and that's why we had this big drop in October. That's fine. That's, Now, what concerns me is now we are starting to break this support level that has held going back to 2000. And then I checked back, and this goes way back. This support trend on the RSI is a fresh break going back many years, and I'm going to show you. And also, right now on the Dow Transports monthly, the MACDs don't look pretty. They are all facing lower. There's no sign of any kind of indication they might want to move. And by the way, let's take a step back. Honestly, because I'm making this video at the beginning of the month, I don't know how the month is going to close, but if we close here or below these levels, then this is what where the RSI is going to be. I don't know. Hopefully, if you're long, and I'm a positive guy, so if the markets recover and we head higher, that's fine. If this support can hold, it held many times in the beginning of this decade. It's held in 2000, 2001, 2002, and early 2003. The RSI held. It could hold again. I do not know. But what I'm saying is this is not something it's done. If we continue trading lower, you do not want to be ahead of this one. No, you don't want to be trying to pick bottoms. Just stay out. If you can find short positions, stay out. Now, let's look at this very chart since 1980. It's as much data as I can gather. Dow Transportation going back to 1980. Notice this at this level. Right now we close at 30. We are trading. It's still early on in the month. The RSI is at 34.42. The lowest close on a monthly basis was at the end of September 2001, and that was at 36.10. This is the lowest the RSI has been in more than 28 years. Did that sink in? The Dow transports have not been, assuming this continues going lower, it could, find support because it's right there where it should find support or it should crack. But this is the most bearish the transportation index has been in 28 years plus. I don't have the data, but I assume it's the only comparable time frame might be in the 70s. Probably it's even not. It wasn't as bad as it is now. So we are going back probably ever. It's never been this bad. Okay. Now, while we are on this chart, it is something I want you to look at. They talk about 1987. They used, people write books about the crash of 87. Look at where the RSI for the crash in 1987 was right here. It makes the crash of 87 look like a freaking joke. Okay? It doesn't even show up on the chart. It makes, if this thing continues getting low, heading lower, it's gonna make the 2000, 2001, 2003 bear market look like a joke. Okay? I mean, we are looking at the possibility of some nasty stuff. Now, let's tinker a little bit with time frame. When we moved out of this line here on the upside, the market came back. Okay. In the early part of this decade, we did move above the 50 level on the RSI a couple of times, a few blips, but would head back. And it took 3 years before we made this move back into the 50 level on the RSI, monthly RSI and above. That started a good bull market that lasted from 2003 2007. Good enough. Now, if we use the same simple reasoning, if we draw the top lines of this RSI, I mean, we haven't even attempted to start a recovery. We are talking about 2 years from now, a year from now. Honestly, even I myself was surprised by some of what these charts are saying. People come on TV and they say, we're gonna hit a bottom, we're gonna do all these things. Man, I don't know, guys. Scary. Dow, this is the Dow Jones since the 1980s monthly chart. The only thing I'm going to talk about is the RSI. The monthly RSI, this is the worst it's ever been. This is 1987 right here. Look at the RSI. It only dropped below 50 for a freaking month. Nothing. It was nothing. The 87 crash, nothing. Just a joke. This right here, my friends, this right here, this is serious stuff. NASDAQ since 1980. Let's look at the RSI. This is the worst for the NASDAQ. Okay? Let's just go back. People talk about 1987. That's why I'm just picking that time frame. Look at it. 1987. It's nothing. Long-term capital, 1998. It didn't even drop below 50. It's nothing. This, my friends, is really different. This is a bear market of unseen proportions.